Parak Mem Zayin, 47th chapter. And this is a chapter that you may remember. We're not that far away from the Yamim Noraim, from the high holidays. Lam Natseach Bnei Korach Mizmor. Again, who is it? It's the Bnei Korach, the sons, the descendants of the evil Korach. Kol ha'amim tikuchaf hariu lelohim b'kol rina. All people, clap your hands, shout to God with a voice of joy. Maybe that word tiku reminds you, this is read, according to Ashkenazi tradition, 7 times prior to Tikiyat Shofar on Rosh Hashanah. Continuing verse 3, because God is high, God is the greatest, He is awesome, He is the king over all the earth. So you nations, not just us, the nations, you should also be clapping your hands, you should also be shouting. We understand Rosh Hashanah is a day of coronating God, whatever that means. Sounds like more it's for us than for God. We blow the shofar, we blast the shofar, we coronate God. But we're saying that all of the nations should be doing it. All of the nations should be here clapping, should be here recognizing God. Yidaber amim tachtenu uleumim tachat ragleinu. God subdues people under us and nations under our feet, because God is king of the world. God is able to help us, that we end up being being on top, because we are the ones who are praising God. God chooses our inheritance for us, the height of Yaakov that He loves. Gaon Yaakov, God is, Bnei Israel are the pride, are God's pride. God loves us, that we are a sense of His pride. So interesting, right? In the last chapter, one of the words that was used was Elohei Yaakov. It talks about God as being the God of Jacob. And here in this chapter, we talk about Gaon Yaakov, that Bnei Israel, or I should say Bnei Yaakov, are Gaon, bring joy to God, and God loves them. And so these parts, right, talk about the nations having to shout out, having to sing to God. Continuing in verse 6. Allah Elohim bitrua, Adonai b'kol shofar. God has gone up with a shout, the Lord with the sound of a shofar. Zamru Elohim Zameru, Zamru L'Malkeinu Zameru. Sing praise to God, sing praise to our King, sing the praises. And here you can see that maybe it's it's sort of a repeated structure. We have the idea of telling everybody to shout their hands, to clap. God is the Most High. And here again, we're starting again with sing praises to God, sing praises to our King. If it's saying sing praises to our King, is it saying it to the other members of Bnei Israel, who is our King, or is it saying to the other nations who maybe do not express God as their king? To sing, Ki melech kol haaretz Elohim zamru maskil, for God is the king of all the earth. Sing a song, sing a melody. Not exactly clear what the word maskil means. Probably means a melody. Those who say that the word was actually not really part of the. It's not. The verse, the pasuk should almost read Ki melech kol haaretz Elohim zamru, and maskil is sort of the type of song that should be sung. There's not actually a word of the song, but here again, so just like it started in 2, everybody should be clapping their hands, everybody should be singing, because God is in charge of the whole world, in charge of the whole earth, and that's what we have here again. It's verse 7, mirroring 2. God is God, sing to our God, sing like in 7 is like 2, and 8 is saying once again that God is the God of the whole earth. And then verse 9, sort of the second part of this development, Malach Elohim al Goyim, Elohim Yashab al Kisei Kadsho. God has become king over the nations. God has sat on His holy throne. Nidivei amim nasafu am Elohei Avraham ki Elohim miginei eretz ma'od na'ala. The princes of people have gathered together. The people of the God of Abraham, for their shields of the earth belong to God. God is great. The nation that serves the God of Abraham is God, together with the Abrahamites, with not just the Jews. You could say all the descendants of Abraham who worship God. And so here we have, in a sense, the same sort of, again, as we were saying, everybody should be singing, the recognition of God, and then the idea of the centrality and the importance of, either if you want to call it Gaon Yaakov, the pride of Jacob as being the pride of God, or whether you want to call them the Am Elohei Abraham, the nation of the God of Abraham, as being sort of God's favorites. Don't know exactly what that means, but but with it, ultimately, and this is, ultimately not in a sort of a condescending way, but Jews are supposed to be representing God and bringing the message of God to the entire world, not just to the Jewish people. And that's, in a sense, what we have here. We have this idea. We're singing to God. We're praising God. We're doing on Rosh Hashanah, which is understood as being the creation of the world. It's not a specific Jewish holiday, even though we are the ones who are celebrating it. We celebrate, so it's a Jewish holiday, but it's a universal Jewish holiday. All human beings stand in front of God in judgment, whether they know that or not, is our understanding. God cares about all humans. God is willing to take a moment of time to look at each and every human and to judge them, to show God's kindness and love for them. And so yes, we are central to this message, but it's not just for us. Everybody should be clapping. Everybody should be singing. Everybody should be blasting the shofar. Exactly what was this written for? Giving it through the lens of the fact that we say it right before the Tekiyat shofar on Rosh Hashanah, but there are those who understand that it should have been for any sort of festive, joyous time that this psalm was originally written. Maybe it was some sort of a coronation, right? We're coronating a king, but we need to know as Jews, Bnei Yisrael, that it is not just a coronation of a melech basar vadam, a king of flesh and blood, a human king, but ultimately the ultimate power, which is the kingdom of God, who is the ultimate king, and then not just the king of Israel, but above the entire world, and truly the king for the entire world. We hope we reach those days where we have more of a kumbaya brotherhood rather than the fighting that we see too much in society.